guys, it's Lauren. Welcome to another lyric analysis. Today's song is called That Girl. It is the fifth and last song of the green section and the 30th song overall. So when I say That Girl for the title, as you might think, as has been depicted online, you know, the girl who has all the cute outfits and she wakes up at 5 a.m., her 5 to 9 before 9 to 5, and all her Lululemon, and then does Pilates, and then has like a matcha and a green juice, and then starts her day, and meditates and does yoga, and has all these friends and goes to Coachella, like, ugh, you know, everyone you hate. But who we all want to be. But on a more basic level, it's the stereotypical vision of success. I'm talking a 9-to-5 job, a husband or wife, 2 kids, a boy and a girl, a dog, a house with a picket fence, you know, everything I don't want. So, let's get started with the lyrics on that note. We all want to be that girl, you know the type, smart and beautiful with a bright future. I definitely sort of was that as a child. I would definitely call myself the golden child, although I was the only one, so. But still, I had great grades. I was pretty enough. I did dance, I did gymnastics, I was a good student. I didn't talk back, I wasn't in a good mood. I was just the perfect everything. The one they thought would like, oh, she'll be a doctor and all this amazing thing. She's so smart and talented. And I'm saying that in an annoyed way because it made me a product and a puppet of what other people wanted for the longest time. And I can tell you, being that when it's not your idea and your dreams, sucks. Next part. We can't all be her. You see, society can't function with just one type of girl. Now, as I was reviewing these lyrics, I'm like, wow. It sounds kind of bad. It sounds kind of like I'm saying, oh, like, you know, if you're stupid and ugly, we need you too. And by conventional standards, that might be true, but I am an out-of-the-box person. What I'm saying is that we need more people than those stereotypical visions of success. We need the uniqueness and richness and diversity of the human experience. And maybe by conventional standards, you're not a success, but how boring would life be if everyone was a carbon copy of each other? And just because conventionally someone says you're not smart or you're not pretty, like, that's just someone's opinion. There are so many different kinds of intelligence, there are so many different kinds of beauty, and we should expand it beyond what is just conventionally acceptable. Next part. We need everyone to be who they are. Like I just said, respect everyone and you will go far. Every one of you has something unique to offer, and what you have to offer is not less valuable than what society conventionally thinks is. In fact, I consider myself as a person who would like to change and evolve those standards moving forward because I am not happy with the status quo. You don't have to agree with everyone, but you do have to respect their autonomy and what they are bringing into the world, even if you don't agree with it, and that doesn't mean you have to associate with it. If you see something you don't like, don't watch. You don't need to hate and try to bring them down. And you will go far. You know why? Let me figure that out before I answer. Why will you go far if you respect everyone for what they bring? 1, you won't be a perfectionist because you realize there's beauty in everything. 2nd, you'll be able to combine disparate opinions and you'll be able to reach and connect with more people. You won't be just stuck in your bubble while maintaining your authentic and integrated and cohesive personality. Chorus. I was on the path to be that girl. so stereotypical what every parent wants, Oh my gosh. Oh, she does well in school. She's obedient. She's smart. She's hardworking, which I said I wouldn't use that term anymore, but I'm using it as a dig because I ended up severely mentally ill and completely broken by trying to be this person that I wasn't. So I was on the path of conventional success that other people wanted for me, but I didn't want for myself because, first of all, I'm asexual. Maybe a lot of you know that from the video I was in a number of years ago. But basically, all you have to know about me is that most of the conventional things in society, my body physically, like a spiritual anaphylactic reaction to it. It does not agree with me. Let's just say that. They were so proud of me for being her. My parents, my teachers, my dance teachers. I was the favorite dance student. The Maddie, if you will. Although, not that much. But sometimes. I remember that we had to see dance shows. I was at OSHA in classical contemporary dance, and we had to see dance shows. And we saw this one contemporary show, and I'm like, oh, that's a good company. I'd love to be in it. And my teacher's like, you could get into a better company than that. And this was a good company. She really believed in me. And they were so proud of me for playing this role. But I lost everything, the disappointment in their eyes. 15. Eating disorder. Mononucleosis. H1N1. Some kind of weird tick bite that I went to the doctors and they're like, I don't know, weird. But basically, I combined all that and reached a low crashing and burning point where I couldn't function. I was really physically ill. That's also when all my more severe mental health symptoms came in from all of the, physical and psychological stress and everything. It was a breaking point. So I lost that role. I lost everything. The disappointment in their eyes. I remember when I told that teacher when I was leaving, and she's just like, when are you leaving? In the coldest way. You could tell that she was so disappointed in me. I was the person who could have done something, and then now I failed. When you have that role and then you get sick, the reaction I got personally was not one of sympathy or compassion, but one of like, what's wrong with you? Come on, you had everything. Why aren't you strong enough to push through and be what we want you to be? Like I chose it or something. Next part, but thank God I did. Now I have a chance at life. If I hadn't gotten sick, I would have been stuck in that role till the end of my days. Completely miserable, but too entrenched to even understand or realize how miserable I was, and I would have died that way. So both paths would have been hell. But at least this path of hell has a light at the end of the tunnel. Now I have a chance to rebuild all my beliefs and create my life the way I want it to, and disregard the conventional opinions of society and others of what makes me someone who has value. Next part. Verse 2. It's not going to be easy. I have been freed, but the price is this disability. Oh. I do feel like that I have been mentally free. My insight has increased. I realized that my whole life I never really had an identity. It was about what I have to do, what I should do, what makes me a good person. And most of the time I didn't really agree with those values. Like, to be honest, I've never been proud of one thing I've done in school because I do not value the traditional education system. So I had been mentally freed because I couldn't go on. But the process of becoming free has been so traumatic and so difficult that, to be honest, I am now broken and have to put the pieces back together. It's a high price, but it's better than the alternative. I have suffered on because I denied the truth from myself and everyone. I told myself I was happy constantly, and I was not. All I wanted was my freedom. Now, what was I doing as a kid that made me the golden child? So I went to OSHA, was a performing arts high school, which is a great place. Although it still has, your traditional conventional education and then just has the art things at the end of the day. So it's basically a regular school, but you're just there a whole lot longer. At a certain point, I was there from 8 a.m. to 7 at night, would drive home, eat dinner, on the way back, then homework, go to bed, and do it all over again. And I hated every second of it. The conservatory I was in was classical contemporary dance. I didn't really choose it. My parents chose it. Mainly because I didn't do tap, to be fair. Because commercial dance was more jazz and tap and ballet. Ballet was like a side thing, which is what I wanted. I never wanted to be a classical ballet dancer. I don't have the body type, and it's not my passion. So, works out. But that's what I was doing. Ballet to me is sort of like going to the gym. Like, it's good to do a little bit, it's good as a cross training, but it's not the main type of dance I want to do. I was able to do contemporary dance in that conservatory, but if I had moved to commercial dance, I would have been able to do a lot more of the type of dance I wanted to, while having ballet as more of a foundational skill, while also having more time at the end of the day because it ended at 5 instead of 7. So I would have been happier, but I was afraid of what people thought, so I didn't change over. And there were a lot of things I did in my life where I had a choice to be happy and go after what I wanted, or do what other people thought was best, or what I thought other people wanted for me. And I constantly, over and over chose to deny what I wanted. And that led to disastrous results that I am trying to process and recover from. So I denied the truth of what I wanted. I convinced myself that what I wanted was what other people wanted. And suppressed it, and it came up not in a pretty way. Next part. These are the cards in my hand. I have a choice to learn from them. I feel broken, defeated, and oftentimes like I do not want to go on. And that is where I have been for a while. I read this thing, what is the highest vibration? Love? No. Truth. And that is where I am and how I feel right now. So I need to honor and respect that myself, since no one else can or would. So moving forward, but also giving myself enough time to heal, as if I had a physical injury. Like if every time you do physical therapy for an injury, you re-break your leg, it's not going to be that helpful. But I have a choice to learn from them. So basically what I've learned is be honest with myself, be honest about what I want, and respect where I am and not where I wish I was. Because what I do is I wish that I was more forward in my life and felt less broken. And so I live in a way that denies that. And then the feelings come back stronger because I was never allowed to feel that way. The quickest and best path forward is to respect the truth within myself. I was on the path to be that girl. They were so proud of me for being her. But specifically for being her, not for being myself. I felt that that was the only way I could get love But now I've learned that that's not what love is. Love is not someone expecting you to do what they want and change for them. That is a distortion of love that I am going to do my best to no longer participate in. But I lost everything. My mental health, my physical health, my sanity. The disappointment in their eyes. People were definitely disappointed in me. It was quite painful. But thank God I did. Now I have a chance to live right. And live right meaning live by my own values and what I think is important. And the key to not feel guilty or shame about doing that. Because the guilt and shame I feel was years of having those rights taken away and not feeling that I deserve them. And I cannot believe I'm doing this again in this video, but I love this quote. No being is so powerful that they get to usurp the right of another. I'm a big Star Trek fan. There are a lot of good lessons. Sometimes I'll just see what episode is on and see what life lesson I can learn from it as I'm doing my laundry or something. So, in conclusion, we have this clear vision of what that girl is. And my vision is the girl who has the perfect, curated house, who wakes up early, does her yoga, does her Pilates, has her green drink, then she journals, then she does affirmations, and everything's clean. And I actually do like that a lot and strive to be like that because it's something that I enjoy, not because I have to. But there's also this idea of what that girl is, of having the boyfriend and the house and the wealth and the job, and especially the big house. And that's something that I don't want. So I think you can probably see that I am someone who's really into aesthetics. And just to be clear, I don't do that to try to project myself as that girl. This is just something I genuinely enjoy and feel that it expresses my authentic self. I just have to remember that I'm not always feeling it. And if I'm not feeling it, rest, regroup, regulate, and come back to it later. Don't give up, just pause. So just be whoever you want to be. There's no right or wrong. That's just induced shame from breaking societal norms and expectations. And sometimes breaking those expectations is the most noble and powerful thing you can do as a human being on this planet. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
But I lost everything, the disappointment in their eyes. But thank God I did. Now I have a chance to live right.